Start. Good afternoon. So let me log into the vCenter first. Okay. So administrator. What happened? Okay. See, browser cookie bugs. Let's see. So we have the lab is up and running now. Sorry for delay. Yeah, let's start. So what we discussed yesterday, any questions or anything you want me to repeat on yesterday's one? This is what we tested, right? How we added extra kernel ports and we tested something. Also, we have configured all the three hosts with the same set of port groups and VLANs and stuff. And I've told you if there is any new requirement that came in to add a new VLAN or update the existing VLAN within the virtual infrastructure area, and you log into each ESXi and create or manipulate or manage the specific port group or a VLAN that needs to be updated. So you have to spend so much of time on each host in order to update them manually, right? That is one disadvantage. So how to overcome this? I said there is a concept called vSphere distributed switch. Okay, so the distributed switch will be used to manage your virtual infrastructure networking or L2 networking on a centralized manner, or in the sense at vCenter level you manage the networking part, and you no need to worry about on each host how you configure it, how you manage it, how you update it. Getting my point? Okay, so means let me explain you in a different way. So I have one ESXi host. It has 4 cables, right? So what I did, I have created a kernel port. I have created a port groups on 2 different virtual switches called vSphere standard switch, and I've created manual port groups on each switch. I have another one. Okay, same configuration, right? You have to create a port groups and it will start communicating like this. Another host, nothing, no change, same configuration. Understood? This is what we are doing, or this is what we did yesterday as well, right? VLAN 10, 20, 40, and VLAN 10, 20, 40, and VLAN 10, 20, 40, and so on. This is what the existing infrastructure is. Now the problem is, if a customer has requested one of the change, so you need to perform a change on this, you need to perform a change on this, you need to perform a change on this, and so on. If you have a n number of hosts, what is that n number? If you are a small company, at least a 50 host, mid-range at a 200 or 250 odd ESXi host, enterprise level around 1000 host, right? Are you going to perform this same manual task on each host? Go to each host, click on networking, and go to vSphere standard switch, select the port group, edit, change the VLAN, or select the add networking, add a new VLAN which customer has requested. Are you going to do this step again and again on each host? And one more problem is, if you by mistakenly change the letter cases, lowercase to uppercase to lowercase, or spaces in between or somewhere, then it will treat as a separate port group. It will not treat as a same port group, right? That is also we tested yesterday. Remember? Yeah. VLAN 20 I created in small letters, and VLAN 20 I created in uppercase, right? Lowercase and uppercase both, and it is showing as a two different VLANs, right? Two different port groups, right? So that is the another challenge. And if your production server is up and running, sorry, production environment is up and running, which is running with around 1000 VMs, around 1000 VMs are running in vCenter. So if there is any problem, how you will troubleshoot it? Troubleshooting a network is like nightmare, because you need to understand what's going on the physical level, what's going on the virtual level as well. L2 and L3 level, you have to troubleshoot at both the levels. Then only you can identify whether it is a ESXi problem or whether it is a switch problem. Right or wrong? Right? So in order to avoid such kind of management overhead, or such kind of issues within the VMware, so there is a concept called vSphere. There is a concept called vSphere distributed switch. What it does? VMware vSphere distributed switch. Let's see what they say. vSphere distributed switch provides a centralized interface from which you can configure, monitor, administer virtual machine access switching for the entire data center. Okay. Simplified virtual machine network configuration, enhanced network monitoring and troubleshooting capabilities, support of advanced vSphere networking features. Okay. So again, they will elaborate little bit, and I'm not interested in these paragraphs. Only I want to see distributed virtual port groups, uplinks, private VLANs, network motion, and bidirectional traffic shaping, and so on. Couple of other additional features are there. Fine. Okay, these are all comes under technical aspects, or selling features. If they want to sell it, they have to show some difference between a standard and distributed, right? So let's consider those additional features as a selling features. Now, what is the basic requirement to get the vSphere distributed switch in your environment? The basic requirement is you need to have understood. If you want to use vSphere distributed switch, you should have enterprise plus license. Okay, so before we go into the distributed switch, let's understand little bit about licenses. Okay, so let me go to vCenter, manage your licenses. Okay, so one license is there from where I got it. Okay, let me remove it. Now add a license. You can add a license here that will automatically sync it. Now minimize this. One vCenter system, how many hosts? 3 hosts. How many clusters? It will show you. So any other solutions? Right. So evolution. Let me go to my main host and manage licensing. Oh, Enterprise Plus license I got from someone. So these are the few features it will support. It will never expire, and these are the features that Enterprise Plus supports. Okay, so let's see DRS. It is there. vSphere DRS is Enterprise Plus license, and a lot of other features are there, but one of the feature is vSphere DRS, Distributed Resource Scheduler, and sorry, my bad. Distributed switch. Okay. DRS supports in standard as well. A standard license also DRS supports. Distributed switch is one of the Enterprise Plus license feature, and vSAN also. If you have seen a vSAN somewhere, it is not there. Maybe on a vCenter it will show up. On the individual ESXi level it is not showing up, but vSAN it supports two features. Okay, so in the licensing part you need to have two types of licenses. How many types of licenses? You need to have two types of licenses. You have vCenter, right? You have vCenter. Okay, you have a vCenter and ESXi 1, 2, 3. Now on a vCenter, you require a license for vCenter. vCenter has a licensing. Again, how many vCenter license? That is what it is showing up here. If I go to vCenter, it is showing the vCenter license. Okay. Now, once you have the vCenter license, you also require individual ESXi licenses as well. Right? Two types of licenses. One is vCenter, another one is ESXi. On ESXi, again, you need to purchase based on two requirements. Okay, you need to purchase based on two requirements. Remember, vCenter, how many licenses, how many types of licenses available in the market, what VMware is doing. Okay, one is standard, another one is enterprise, another one is enterprise plus, another one is essential plus. This is all I remember. If there are any other platinum, gold, something, I really don't know. But you remember, these are the 5 licenses available in the market if you want to purchase it. Now, example, you purchased enterprise, you purchased a standard at vCenter level. Fine. Now I said you need to purchase ESXi licenses also. Okay, now while purchasing ESXi license, you need to make sure this ESXi server has 26 CPU. This has 18. This has 32. Now what you have to do, you have to purchase based on the number of cores. That is first thing. First thing, you need to make sure how many number of cores you have on a ESXi server. Those many number of cores you need to add a license. Okay. Another one is if you are using a standard license at your vCenter, if you are purchasing Enterprise Plus, it's of no use. So you need to make sure what kind of license that vCenter is holding and what kind of license that you have to purchase for ESXi. If you have an Enterprise Plus, you have to have Enterprise Plus here on ESXi. Otherwise, the features won't work. Understood what I'm saying? Hello?
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Hmm? In short, you would require two types of licenses. One is ESXi license, another one is vCenter license, and also make sure all the licenses are at same level. Same level means if you purchase a vCenter at standard, remaining ESXi host licenses also must be standard. If you purchase a vCenter with Enterprise Plus, make sure you have a request for ESXi host to purchase Enterprise Plus licenses only. Clear on this? Any questions? Licensing part?
No.
Okay, fine. So imagine you have Enterprise Plus license. Anyway, now in our test lab, we don't require any licenses because all the features you can test it within 60 days without any license, because Evolution has all the features enabled by default. Okay, for 60 days. So imagine you have an Enterprise Plus license in your vCenter. vSphere distributed switch will support. Okay, fine. Let me understand what is this vSphere distributed switch. Now let me build a lab in a such a way. Remember, I have one ESXi server, another ESXi server. Okay, let me clear this off. Okay, so minimum. Let me put in this notation. One ESXi server, another ESXi server, and another ESXi server. You have three ESXi servers, right? I've told you earlier, you have two cables. One set, second set, third set. You're getting my point, right? 6 cables on each. Now tell me, as per the color notation, which one we used for kernel port?
Black one.
Yes, exactly. So this we already used for kernel ports. Okay, just to fit in the picture, I've rotated them like this. Okay, now which one we used for port groups? This one, right? Agree? This I used for port groups. How many port groups that I have, boss? I have around 3 port groups on each. VLAN 10, 20 and 40. Done. And also I have a couple of VMs which are running on it. On the first host, I have 3 VMs, 2 Windows, 1 Linux. Right or wrong? Okay, now these two are connected on this, and this is connected on this. This is how the setup is, right? Currently my lab environment. If you want to take a look, we can quickly go to host and clusters, 3 hosts, right? On a first ESXi server, if I go to VMs, you'll see all the 3 are running on first host. On the second host, there's nothing. On the third host, there's nothing. And if I go to first host, networking, not like this, configure, switches, kernel port, and port groups, 2 VMs on VLAN 10, 1 VM is on VLAN 20. So go back to same VLAN 20, VLAN 10, 2 VMs, 1 VM. Agree? Now, this is the setup I have. Everything is under, tell me, everything is under 1.
Host.
No, man. It is not automatically. No, I'm expecting it should automatically adjust. It's okay, leave it. It is not adjusting. Let's try this one last time. Yes. Okay. Now everything is under 1 vCenter server VCSA, right? Okay. Everything is under 1 vCenter. Now you can, how many ESXi hosts you can have, boss? And so I don't want to do the manual work. I said manual work means I need to create a port groups here. I need to create a port groups here. Again, I need to create a port groups here, which I already did. If I have another host, I have to do the same, right? Now, how to avoid using VDS? What is VDS? Distributed switch you create at vCenter level, right? vSphere distributed switch that you create at vCenter level. What is vSphere distributed switch? First of all, before I go to the vSphere distributed switch, what is this standard switch? Do we have any physical existence of this standard switch? Hmm? Hello.
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 I'm asking, do we have any physical existence of this standard switch, or is just a software?
It's just a software.
Right? It's just a software which is saved under each ESXi. Software means or some of the files, some set of files which is saved under ESXi host. Now,
Yeah.
what is this distributed switch? This distributed switch is also virtual. There is no physical existence, which is also software, which is saved under vCenter.
vCenter.
Okay. So normally, if you create a vSphere distributed switch, the switch configuration will be saved in vCenter. Remember.
Yes.
Okay. So how to create a distributed switch? Very simple. Okay, let's treat this as your distributed switch.
vCenter.
What switch contains normally? What switch
Ports.
contains?
Ports.
Port groups. Port groups, right?
Yeah.
So VLAN 10, VLAN 20, VLAN 30, VLAN 40. I said I have 4 VLANs. Normally 3 VLANs in the existing 10, 20, 40. But I have a new requirement because customer asked me to create a new one, 30 as well. Then I said I'll create a VDS. Okay, distributed switch along with the existing 3 ports and the new port as well. Okay, this is
Mhm.
VDS. How it will start communicating with the external world? If it is a switch, on the left hand side you have a port groups. On the right hand side it must have a physical cables, right? Means it must connect it to some physical cables, right?
Right.
Okay, if you look at this picture, this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is every switch is using one of the physical cable to send the data out. Agree or disagree?
Agreed.
Okay, so similarly, when you are creating a vSphere distributed switch at vCenter level, you have to provide 2 uplinks or n number of uplinks that you want. You call it as uplink. Uplink means physical cables, right? But vCenter won't contain any physical cables. Physical cables are connected to each ESXi host, right? vCenter is just a application which is used to manage everything at central location. Okay, now remember I have created a software switch and I have created a port groups. I said I need 2 uplinks to connect. Means if someone want to use this switch, please come with 2 uplinks. That is what it means.
Mhm.
Okay, so be on mute. Lot of noise. Let me create a switch first. Let me create a switch and create a port groups and define the uplinks. How to do that? Go to vCenter, switch, networking, vCenter, networking. Remember, expand, data center, right click, distributed switch. Okay, even if you go to cluster, right click, you will not see that option. In the data center, you will see that option, distributed switch. Okay, so better go to network because management is very easy here. Okay, distributed switch, new distributed switch, VDS, vSphere distributed switch is the name. Next, you want to use it for 6.5 host or a 6.7 host? Because why they are saying 6.0, 6.5, 6.7? vCenter is running on 6.7. However, it will support two versions, minus, two versions plus. Sorry, two versions minus. Two versions plus is not possible. My bad. Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, I'm saying if you are using vCenter 6.7, your vCenter will support two versions minus, means 6.5 host also be supported in the vCenter, 6.0 host also supported in the vCenter. You understood what I'm saying?
Below that it won't support.
No, n minus 2.
Okay. So is there any other way, like if
That
you want
that will discuss in the upgrades. Okay, this is don't deviate. My aim is teaching a distributed switch.
okay.
Okay, we are not discussing about how to upgrade, how to check the compatibility metrics and all.
Mhm.
Okay, don't deviate yourself. So in this picture, it is clearly showing two versions minus, means if you want to use this distributed switch, if you create with this option, other host which are running on 6.5 or 6.0, they won't be able to access this switch. You understand what I'm saying? Or else I can show
Yes,
you something.
yes, yes.
I can show you something. Okay, let me do one thing. Let me create with 6.7 and later. Next, how many uplinks that you want to provide to this?
Two.
I need at least minimum 2 cables. Okay, now You want to create a port groups, distributed port groups? No, I don't want to create a distributed port group. Next, finish. So switch has been created with saying how many uplinks?
2 uplinks.
2 uplinks. VDS not showing anywhere how many uplinks that we provided, but whenever you are using it, it will give you. Okay, now how to add the port groups? Go to switch, monitor, nothing, configure, uplinks, yeah, number of uplinks 2. Okay, so right click, distributed port group, new distributed port group. So now I'll not give VLAN 10, 20, 30 because I'm doing it a brand new way. Okay. Excuse me. Web, I'm using for web applications. Purpose of the VLAN and VLAN ID. Okay, new naming convention, because the older naming convention, it's hard to remember. People raising a concerns because they don't understand which VLAN they have to use it, which VLAN they have to change it when they are doing some day-to-day administration. Okay, but we cannot change that anyway because the servers are in production and machines are using it and a lot of stuff. But anyway, you are doing it brand new way. Now you are creating all the new configurations, right? So use some standard naming convention. So I'll say web VLAN 10. Next, how many ports that you need in this VLAN means how many servers you are expecting in this VLAN. 254 maximum, right? Because the way the VLAN supports 254 and VLAN type VLAN ID is 10, right? Next, finish. One port group has been created. I will create one more port group, db or app underscore VLAN 20 application service. Again 254 VLAN 20. Anyway, one time you have to do it, man. There is no alternate options, right? VLAN 30, again 254 machines, VLAN 30, VLAN 40, DMZ, VLAN 40, demilitarized zone. Let's say 254, VLAN 40. Now done with the configuration. Okay. What I did, I have created a distributed switch, and for that switch, I said two uplinks, and 4 port groups. It will not show this picture, but it is created already. Okay. At where it got created in vCenter. In vCenter. What is vCenter server? This is the vCenter server. What is the IP of the vCenter server? 50, right? 50. Hello.
Yes, yes.
CSA. This is the vCenter server, right? This is the vCenter server 30.50. Okay. So now this is 51. This is 52. This is 53. where this switch got created at the moment in 50. 50 is one of the server. In 50 under, I'm just giving an example. This is not the exact path. Okay, slash usr. Even I don't know where exactly this configuration will save it, but just for your understanding purpose, laymanly I'm explaining it. User vc, okay, var or something. Under this there is a one file called vds config. Remember, just I'm saying. Okay, now on the switch configuration is saved under 50, but 50 will not do anything. 50 will do just a management task. Who will use the switch? This ESXi host must use the switch, right or wrong? They must use the switch.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, if these hosts want to use the switch, you need to add these hosts into this switch as a member. Then only these hosts can use it. So what I will do, I will add first host as a member and see what it changes. Okay, switch, go to host, there's nothing. I selected the switch, go to host, there's nothing. Go to VMs, there is nothing. Go to networks, I have 4 VLANs, right? 10, 20, 30, 40. Okay, I have 4 VLANs and ports for each VLAN, where each VLAN around 250 ports are there. So 250 into 4, 1050 around. Okay, and permissions that we'll see later on. Configure, this is what we configured so far. What else we do? Okay, summary, nothing here. Right now, right click on the switch, add manage host. You want to add a host or remove host or manage a host? I want to add host. Next, add a host. I want to add first host. Fine. Next, see, it is clearly showing 4 cables are already used and 2 cables are free. So I'll select the first cable, assign first uplink to the switch. I'll select the second cable, assign second uplink to the switch. Right? I have provided 2 uplinks. If you want to use VDS, come with 2 free uplinks. I got it, and I have assigned 2 uplinks. Next, you want to migrate the kernel port? No, I don't want to do any kernel port migrations. Next, and you see, you want to migrate the networking? No, I don't want to do migration. So one host is added with 2 adapters. Finish. See, ESXi host 1 is now using distributed switch. If I go to host, you will see one host is added, and you go to VMs. No VMs are running on distributed at the moment, but host is added. Okay, so now go to host ESXi01, and you see vSphere distributed switch popped up, and view settings. Oh, something strange, man. I don't know. The port groups is already created. There must be some view where it will. Okay, let's keep it aside. So there are 2 more switches. 2 more switches. These are standard switches. Okay, minimize these 2, and one distributed switch. Distributed switch, manage physical adapters. What I have to manage, it is already there. Okay, but these port groups must show here. The port groups won't show until unless you put the VMs. I believe they have changed. They have changed the configuration, man. It's okay. Port groups are already there. Don't worry. Okay. 4 port groups which are already there. How to change this view? They'll always come up with some strange. Let me. 92. Just give me a second. 192, 168.30.50. I want to see something different. Let's wait. There's another view, HTML view, because what I need, let me show you quickly. This is discontinued version. This view is no longer used. It's okay. We will use it. Production cluster. Go to ESXi host 1. Configure. Okay. Switches. Oh, let me close this. Let me close this. I don't want all these things. Let me close this. Minimize this. Yes. VDS. Right. Now it is showing up VDS. Right. The same thing which is visible here. Okay, what I'm trying to identify, assigned port groups, no, topology light. So if I select a light topology, you'll see all the hidden port groups. Port groups are already there, but none of the VMs are connected to this. So that is why they are assigned port groups. Assigned port groups means which are already in use. Actually, you have 4 port groups, but none of the VMs are connected to those port groups. That is the reason why they are hidden here. But if you go to topology light, so this is how it looks like. It looks like normal switch only, right? Normal switch with some port groups, some uplinks. You got it what I'm saying? So this view is not enabled in newer version. In this, there is no option to unhide it. So that's the problem. So due to that,
Yes, I got.
okay. So I was trying to show you this. This is another bug, I can say, because at least they have to show it something here. Okay. So second host, there's nothing called distributed switch, only standard switch is there. In first host, distributed switch is there and standard switch is there. Third host, there's nothing. So what to do? Again, you have to go to networking, add switch, and go to switch, sorry, add host. Now this time I will add all the 2 hosts. I hope you understand now, right? Whoever is the member of the switch, they can use the switch. Whoever is not the member of the switch, they cannot use the features. Okay, if you want to become a member of the switch, you must have 2 uplinks. Next, kernel ports I don't touch, man. VMs migration, there's nothing done. So now you see, if you refresh it, all the 3 hosts are added. See, all the 3 hosts were added, and VMs, now no VMs running on distributed switch, only hosts are added. Now you go back to ESXi host and see there is a distributed switch added, there is a distributed switch added, there is a distributed switch added. Okay, now you see on the other view, VDS, topology light, distributed switch is added, right? All the 4 port groups. Now, what I will do, there is another requirement from customer saying, can you create one more VLAN? VLAN ID is 999. So he is saying, can you create one more port group? The ID is 999. Okay, boss, what to do? I'll do it. So simply go to distributed switch, right click, new port group. Okay, so backup underscore VLAN 999 is the new VLAN, what customer has requested. Again 254, and what is the VLAN ID? VLAN ID is 999, right? You can give 999. Finish. So you created one more VLAN, one more port group for that particular VLAN. Now you go to HTML view, simply refresh, you will see 5. Backup VLAN 999 is already populated. on all the hosts. You don't need to worry about manual creation, or you don't need to worry about configuration refresh, or you don't need to worry about, do I need to push the configuration? Do I need to update the configuration on each host? Nothing. It will automatically replicate it. Understood? Or any confusion here?
Yes, I understand.
Okay. Right. So now the question is, what will happen if my vCenter goes down? Because my entire switch configuration is saved under vCenter, under some unknown path. But if vCenter itself went down, what will happen to these three hosts and switch? Distributed switch will function, or a distributed switch will go away, or distributed switch will not function. What will happen?
All down.
Means okay, you have a big data center and you have 1,000 servers, and every 1 minute you are getting $5,000 revenue due to simple vCenter power down. You are saying you are ready to lose that much amount. All down means the same only, right? Practically speaking.
Yes.
Then why customers should purchase VMware? If a single server failed means single point of failure. My all physical servers, all physical ESXi servers are up and running, and they are running with 200 virtual machines. Around 3 into 200, 600 virtual machines are running. Out of 600, one machine is down. Due to that, all 600 machines will go down. That is what you are saying. You're getting my point?
Yes, yes.
That should not be the case. Then why anyone should purchase the VMware? Just to lose the business or just to lose the money? No, right? There must be something then.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, so what happens whenever you create a switch and now you are adding one host to the switch as a member? As a member, you are adding it, right?
Yes.
Okay, once you add as a member, what will happen? The switch configuration is saved somewhere here, right? I said on a 50, host number 50, somewhere here. It will be copied onto this host. So once it is copied, there will be one hidden switch created here. That is what
Okay.
it is. Okay, hidden switch will be created and it has all the port groups. Okay, understood?
Yes, yes.
Okay, now you have a 3 host. In all the 3 hosts, the switch properties will be copied. What's the time, man? 4:56 or it's a 5?
456.
Okay, wait for 4 more minutes. We have to clap for them.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so meanwhile, we will finish this off. Everyone started in my society. Okay, so what happens if this vCenter server is holding the configuration of the switch here? Whenever you add a member to the switch properties will be copied onto each host. Even though if this goes down, nothing will happen. Configuration is already here. So using that configuration, whatever the VMs are there now, they start functioning like this. You have a virtual machines, right? You'll have virtual machines. Virtual machines can start communicating from switch or this switch, doesn't matter. They have to communicate to the external world. That is the aim. Okay, if you have a VMs, they start communicating like this. Even though if vCenter is down, no problem. 1, 2, 3. All the 3 hosts are up and running. So there shouldn't be any issue for customer. Otherwise, this will become, as I said, right? So no customer will like the product which is offering single point of failure. So keep this in mind. Okay, if vCenter goes down, your production won't go down. Clear?
Yes.
So people have started clapping. So shall we stop here?
Yes.
Okay, chalo. I will also stop. We'll catch up tomorrow. Tomorrow, what we will do? We will see how we can migrate the machines, live migration from standard to distributed. That we'll see tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay, you have 1 minute. Okay, thank you. Bye bye.